everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of Loss of Lieutenant. This is episode 157, where we'll be talking about the return of the Lost Sectorials. My name is Jordan, and tonight I am joined by co-host Nick.
Hello.
And Tristan, who is drinking. Not sponsored. And demonetized.
Oh, that's true. Shit, I should cut that out. there is a section of YouTube monetization is, are you drinking alcohol? Okay. This is not alcohol.
Tristan's camera has just like blacked out for the first like 15 seconds of this episode. So as I did mention just before, we are just going to be talking tonight about some of the returning sectorials from N4 that have finally made the transition over to N5. If we do not talk about them tonight, we'll be talking about them in a later episode. Tonight we'll be covering the Neo-Terra Capitale Army, the French Rapid Response Merovingian Force, and the Varuna Immediate Reactionary Division. So if you are a Caledonia stand, next week is going to be your holy grail.
Yep. I will say as of now, if there are any N5 events you want to promote, we do that. We haven't done it in a little bit, but we do promote events. And hopefully when CanCon announces their missions, we will be promoting CanCon.
We could be like promoting Jimmy's event, but it's sold out, so...
Yeah, it sells out.
I think it capped out at 22 people, so I don't know how much promotion that needed.
No, it didn't. And last year it sold out the day it came. Like the day you could buy tickets, it sold out, so...
The event that was meant to be N5, but ended up being the second to last event of N4 instead.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh my god.
I remember the days.
All right. Absolutely, I remember those days.
All right. Go on. Promote that Patreon.
Absolutely got to promote that fucking Patreon. If you would like to be in the call, listening to us record this episode, asking us questions like some of our patrons have already been doing tonight, asking us what we think about Next Wave, you can head over to patreon.com/lossoflieutenant and become one of our lovely cocks, and you can enjoy the fact that Nick and myself finally got beat over the fucking back of the head by Tristan into fixing our mic audio properly. I downloaded like 3 programs for this.
Likewise. Although,
guys, woe is me.
OBS is not intuitive for someone who doesn't understand streaming.
Okay, guys, they had to watch a 30-minute video and copy it.
I did.
Yeah.
All right, Nick. What's back? What's back?
Okay. So, Pano, the eternal I have all these sectorials faction, brought back 3 of their sectorials. Neo-Terra Capitale Army, the Shock Army of Accostamento, and Varuna Immediate Reaction Division. Ariadna got back their 2 missing ones with the Forced Response Rapide Merovingian and the Caledonian Highlander Army. And we got back one of the NA2s of the Starco. So that's been interesting to see come back because Starco previously had a whole slew of special characters that had no other home, and they've since been distributed amongst all the other sectorials in the game, and now their home is back.
Yeah, but like because there was like the 2 Starco players. They're like, why did they get rid of Starco? I loved Starco.
Mm-hmm. They wanna what? How would you describe Starco? It's just like a shit nomad sector.
Yeah, it is shitty nomad sectoral, basically. Like, and a moment of silence for Ed Sykes in Canberra, who was baited into believing that Spiral Corps were coming back, until it was in fact revealed that they were taken out back and shot in the head. Rest in peace, Spiral Corps.
No, the less Toha, the better.
I forgot to look it up beforehand. Were there any sectorials that didn't come back? Like Spiral Corps, I know, and I think there was one other NA2?
Foreign company.
Okay.
It was merged into White Banner.
Okay.
Yes, so...
You mean White Company?
Yeah, that one. White something.
Jesus Christ.
The NA2 White Army, not the Yuching White Army.
Yes. Just remember, guys, the Emperor completely supports Next Wave. All right,
No.
that's a little inside joke. Let's move on. First up is me. I am so goddamn high on Neo Terra right now, as I should be. They are banging. They are so good. Even though I haven't played a game with them yet, but they are so good. All right, let's start off with N4, the history of NCA. Neo Terra, even in N4, was kind of like a niche faction pick. Like in N4, there weren't any new bolts, so to get a box of bolts was probably even more expensive than it is now. So it really wasn't played very much, but it was the home faction of the Supreme Tech. So it was the home faction of the Aquila, the Swiss, the Ulhan. You could argue isn't as supreme as the Cutter, but it is still pretty good. And it was kind of semi-unique in the fact that it had a lot of Aleph units in it. So a bit more high-tech than the rest of Pano. And it kind of played that way. It was very top-heavy, so it was running Swiss Guards, running Ulhans, and then kind of filling the rest of it with your AVA-3 flash bolts. And bolt cores. Bolt cores in N4, I played against them twice, but they were pretty gross because they were hitting you on 19s most of the time.
It's a one wound guy, but boy fucking howdy, is it the worst one wound you've ever had to take off in your life.
Yep, and there was...
if it keeps winning the face-to-face rolls, doesn't care if it's one wound.
Yep. And the reason they kind of didn't do very well is because they had basically no forward deployment, and all of their specialists were kind of crap. Locusts didn't have a marker state. You had, I want to say they had Nagas?
That was Shock Army.
I know Shock Army. They had some form of, maybe I'm thinking, maybe the Hexa was the one. I can't remember.
You probably think of the Hexa.
I'm pretty sure they had some form of forward deploy camo marker. But aside from that, everything was super expensive, and basically everything started in the DZ. They were pretty slow, and they just punched you in the face really hard, but didn't really do missions very well. However, that has completely changed. So, of course, the first profile we have to talk... I don't want to talk about profiles, I don't think. Okay, stuff we've gained. We don't really care. The Red Eye, who cares? Throw it in the bin. Hannibal, I'll talk about Hannibal later, but by golly, I love him.
It's even sadder that they got the Red Eye when they have arguably the best vehicle in the game in the Garuda already in the faction.
Mm-hmm. You take 2 Garudas for 1 Red Eye.
Yeah, exactly.
Quinn is actually, I think, an underrated pick. They lost Bipandra, which is interesting. I suppose that's because Bipandra went to Kestrel.
That's actually really rough that they lost her.
Since Bipandra got a little bit of a buff, yeah, I would have liked to have had Bipandra. And the Squaler...
A little bit of a buff, right?
Well, a lot of a buff, really.
Yeah.
They lost the Mark 1 Squallow, which no one has anymore, but rest in peace, big old S7 boy. The fire teams, now that's where it's at. Incredibly flexible options, and so many of their wild cards have excellent keywords, like Orcs, Bolts, Fusiliers, there's lots of them. And incredibly good solid duo potential because you have those keyworded wildcards, and you have lots of actual fire team options for duos.
How do the fire team options compare to N4? Because I remember NCA being a fairly fire team centric faction.
Yes. I think NCA kind of played the N4 thing of it's a core or it's like a mobility Harris or something. So a lot of people used to duo 2 CSUs with like something else, and then run like an Orc core. Like Orcs, back then we didn't have keywords and all that, so Orcs got their +3 BS from 4 Fusiliers. Run a Bolt core, that kind of thing.
Hang on, that fire teams update happened like right near the start of N4.
No one was playing NCA after the fire teams update. If we go post fire teams update, sure,
No,
like
don't say that, because Trent's going to show up in the fucking comments and be like, I've been playing it, too.
he's the only one I can think of that played NCA.
He is the only one I can think of.
They weren't super flexible, I feel like. Like, you could do the
No.
4 Fusiliers and a dude. You could do your Bolt Core. You could put CSUs with stuff. You could, like, core an Aquila Guard with multi-marksman rifle, but you couldn't core the HMG. Like, the Swiss didn't core. None of the tags really duoed. The Squallow duoed with, like, a blade, and that was really cool, but you could do it in vanilla.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah.
I mean, like, it was N4, so, like, 5 Fusiliers was actually, like, annoying to deal with. Like, a BS-15 missile launcher that you could never, like, neg 6 through smoke was brutal.
Yeah.
Again, just one of those things where, like, if they just keep winning the face-to-face roll, you're in for a bad time.
Yeah. At the same time, like, if it was just an orc, you just throw a smoke in front of it. If it's a bolt, good luck. Coordinate, auto shoot it, or try and ignore it. Pray the table isn't too bad. Play for days. It was very much a gear check. And sometimes it was just pray they rolled bad. Thankfully, though, in N5, it's a little bit more interesting. So, we can't talk about new NCA without talking about all the new hotness. That is the Ulhan. Oh, Jordan's gone. The prodigal son that was arguably the worst tag in Pano is now arguably the best tag in Pano. So to go through it, no one who played in N4 who knows what an Ulhan is. It is the premier camo Pano tag. So I'll run through it for you. It is a 6/4 tag. It's CC 15, it's BS 15, it's Fizz 15, it's Whip 12, which is Boohoo, but it is 6 armor, 6 BTS, 3 structure, and it is a tiny S6. You can take 2 of them. I don't imagine you will, though. It has ECM guided -6, like every other tag. It has beat attack SR -1, like every other tag. It is a camouflage tag. It has courage. It dodges on 11s, like every Pano tag. It has a gizmo kit of a 13. It has mimetism. It has remote presence, like every other Pano tag. It gets surprise attack, and to top it off, it still retains its attack aware, and it has gained Warhorse, which you could gloss over that since there's so much Warhorse in the game. A Warhorse tag, like, Jordan will tell you how much, like, you know, the Raicho and stuff will just smash face because it's Warhorse. You can't isolate it. It ignores BS attack -3. It is incredible on a tag.
Yeah, Warhorse it's hard to beat it on a tag because one of the easiest ways to start to take down a tag is just isolate it.
Yep.
And then go from there because you've hit them with a -9 on their whip checks. But in this case, the most you can hit this is a -6 penalty to reset checks. And that whip 12 can absorb that.
Yes, and if you want to actually brick it, you have to carbonite it, which doesn't have AP. So it's saving on 12s. And that just doesn't feel good in comparison with Oblivion, which is saving on 7s.
Isn't it saving on 13s? Isn't Carbonite PS7?
Yes, it is. You're right, Jordan. That's even better. Yeah, so it saves on a 13, which is just ridiculously good. So traditionally, it's going to be harder to hack, even though it's Whip 12. And you're not going to be able to fully shut it down, even if you've killed all the Pano engineers and the speedballs have been used. So it's never really out of the... Like, you can never blitz in it and go, oh, it's out of the game, I'm good. It's always going to be a threat.
Yeah, you can't emitter it either.
No, you can't. You can... Well, it'll carbonite it, but it won't isolate it. So we have 2 lovely profiles. For 80 points, we are getting a AP Spitfire and an AP +1 burst heavy rocket launcher. We'll get into a little bit of the math later, but it is just, it melts everything in the game. But it is 80 points and 1.5 SWIC. For 70 points, so significantly cheaper and 1.5 Swick, we get a +1 burst Feuerback, a +1 burst Panzerfaust, and a +1 burst Blitzen, with, to top it all off, a +1 burst multi-pistol. This also melts stuff. It just doesn't melt tags as readily as a AP HRL +1 burst does. So I feel like there is kind of a little bit of a choice here. I like that the 70.1, while the Feuerback, as you'll see later, doesn't melt high armor stuff as good as a HRL, you get the Panzerfaust and the Blitzen, so you can burst to Blitzen a tag or something bad, and then just shoot it for free with a Feuerback, which I find really interesting. So it's kind of like a less risky way of killing tags.
Yeah, I think you just try and find the 10 points though, right?
I could
find
see
10 points does a lot.
I could see running the Feuerbach one depending on the list. Because the +1 burst Feuerbach, at that point, both ammo types for the Feuerbach become viable inactive. And being able to put 2 explosive rounds to the other side of the board on 15s, 12s if you're in bad range band and they have cover. But also, multi-pistol +1 burst means that if the opponent tries to do a run on this with a warband or anything like that, and they don't make it, it can just clear it.
I think there's play for both. I'm very inclined to take like the Spitfire HRL if my game plan is super simple and I'm doing the whole mega hacking dominance, and the Ulhan kills everything at every range band. Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
If I'm taking the Feuerback, I think I have a different plan of what's going to run up the table, and that tag is a sit near my DZ and do the long range fighting and be really annoying kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree there. The HRL is probably the default. And if you have a specific list need, then the Feuerbach is good still.
Yep.
Also really value the 0 range band on the Feuerback as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's so much to be said for that. It's one of the reasons why stuff like Yanho was so good with the HRMC. Being able to just like fuck over HMGs outside of 32 is just excellent.
Yep. All right.
Especially when you can surprise attack.
Yep.
Let's move on to a little bit of the math, and to annoy a friend of mine named Ryan Kershaw, its direct comparison is going to be the Wrecker. So I don't know if anyone remembers, but when the Wrecker came out, when Josh and I did a TLB review, we were like, oh my god, the Wrecker kills a Squallow 25% of the time in a single order. That's incredible. Holy shit. Well, let's get down to the math of the Ulhan. So, HRL with surprise. It's doing 1.84 wounds an order to a Jotun. The Wrecker's only doing 1.07 wounds to a Jotun. Nearly twice as much. It puts a Jotun down to unconscious nearly 30% of the time in a single order. That's nuts. That's like, aside from maybe the Avatar and the Cutter, it's like the most durable tag in the game. The Wrecker only does it 16.4% of the time. So, obviously, the numbers are disgusting. So, the Ulhan is shooting on 15s versus, obviously, the Wrecker's always on 13s. But for that single order with surprise, you're neg-6ing your opponent. So, pretty much the Wrecker shooting other tags is always on either even numbers or worse numbers. You're shooting at Pano tags, it's like 13s versus 15s.
Yep.
This time, it's 15s versus like 9s, which feels way better to do than when a Squallow or something rolls like a 10 and you're like, oh no. Speaking of the Squallow, the Ulan HRL with surprise attack does 2.76 wounds per order on average, and puts it unconscious 44.3% of the time in a single order. Now, I'll just round up and basically say it's 50-50 to one tap a swallow with an Ulhan, which is pretty gross. Versus the next previous best as the Wrecker, which is 26.2%, which, you know, a year ago we were going, oh my god, this is so good. To kind of top it off with like a demonstration of how Warhorse is such an amazing skill, I've chosen Janissaries. I think Janissaries are like maybe one of the best aero pieces in Huck. I'm not sure if Nick would agree with me.
He's thinking.
One of the best resilient aero pieces. Plus, it can be backed up by a fire team.
So, an Ulhan versus a linked Janissary with the special dice does 2.98 wounds per order. It will knock it unconscious 58.2% of the time in a single order, and it will drive it straight to dead 46.5% of the time. The Wrecker, since the BS attack -3 is not avoided and it's only on 10s, only does 0.94 wounds per order. It will put it unconscious 20.6% of the time, and it will make it straight to dead 15% of the time.
So it's like thrice as effective as a Wrecker.
It's thrice as effective against like BS attack -3, like your Primes, your Kreezer Borax, your Janissaries. It's pretty gross. It's basically, on average, like 70 to 80% more effective against pretty much any target. It's also, like, it is 30 points more. NCA supports expensive stuff stupidly well.
3 Fugazi will do that for you, plus Auxilla.
AVA 3 Fugazi, Auxilla, CSUs. You have regular orders out the bum. And an Ulhan doesn't feel that constraining to actually put in your list. Like, you're never thinking, I'm not going to hit 15 orders. You're just thinking, are all these 15 orders things that I want to take?
Yeah. One thing to note there, the percentage increase in cost of a Wrecker is roughly the same as the efficiency increase in killing tags.
Yes.
Jesus.
Which is a really good deal. You don't usually get one-to-one efficiency out of anything, but this is really good. So that's the HRL. We all know the HRL's busted. Like, it's gross. How about the fallback? So as we know, the Wrecker does 1.07 wounds per order. The Fjordback, with surprise, against a Jotun, does 1.31 wounds per order. So it's still slightly more. However, it has less of a chance of knocking it unconscious in a single order, with 15% versus 16%, basically. So higher wounds per average, but continuous for the math really is really, really good. Against the Squallow, it's basically identical. They're both in the 1.6-ish wounds per order, and they're both around 26% to knock it unconscious in a single order. So they're basically the same there. As soon as you hit the Janissary, though, it goes from 0.94 wounds per order to 1.68 wounds per order. So the Ulhan has a 50% chance to knock it unconscious in a single order versus a 20% chance. And the straight to dead is 27% versus 15%. So still, with the Fjordback, it's still outperforming the Wrecker pretty much all the time. And this is against, you know, high armor, kind of fiddly AROs. If you match this against things that didn't have base attack -3 or like a light infantry guy, the Ulhan's still smashing the Wrecker no matter what. And this one's only 20 points more expensive instead of 30. I don't know if there's anyone going to say that the Ulhan isn't worth it. It might be slightly too good.
I don't know if it's slightly too good. I think it's appropriately costed at like between 70 and 80 points.
Yep.
And it's only Mim 3. If it was like cutter mimetism, then there'd be more of a problem. But the fact it's only Mim 3 means it's a lot easier to like poke it out of that marker state, especially.
Yep.
And then once it's poked out of that marker state, it is gonna it can just get blown up.
Yeah, everything has its natural weakness. Like,
Yeah.
an Ulhan still doesn't like someone running into CC with it and smashing it in the face.
Yeah.
And there's still guns out there with MSV that will fight it and, in the active turn eventually win.
Yeah. I'm also like not sure sort of what you're defending it with as well. Like a lot of the NCA lists I've seen have felt a little bit light in terms of like ARO presence and like ablative defenses. Like, because you aren't really able to put like a Swissel and a Ulan in the same list effectively.
Yeah, you can't without sacrificing something. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of NCA's defense in these Ulhan lists are going to be down to peripherals, and it's going to be down to repeater coverage. So things like Liang Kai, Shona Carano, those kinds of units potentially aren't going to have very many hard counters in NCA. They might just storm through and smash your Ulhan into pieces.
I was thinking especially like camo warbands as well, like Beast Hunters, Yamabushi, that sort of stuff.
Beast Hunters and Yamabushi, absolutely. Yep. Against those units, you're probably going to have to sacrifice certain things to try and keep your important stuff alive.
So there is counterplay to this. Not to say it's not excellent. It is excellent. 80 points is that is one of the most compelling tags I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really impressed with CB on this one. Like, they took a very challenging design, which was the original Ulan, and they've split it into two super unique and very interesting profiles. Like, full credit to CB, this is like a excellent redesign, and has turned the Ulan from like oh man, that'd be neat if it was ever good, into genuinely one of the most compelling tags in the game. I wish it was in vanilla. That's how much I like it.
Vanilla might eclipse the point in which it can't come back if it did.
Potentially.
I think, yeah.
I can be trusted.
I really kind of agree, because the Ulhan was like the bloat profile.
Oh god, yeah.
And now it feels pretty lean. It feels like you're not really wasting a lot of points on stuff. Like 70 points for a camo tag is pretty good.
Yeah, like as lean as you can feel when you have 3 Swick worth of weapons for 80 points.
And only 1.5 Swick. Like, getting a HRL and a Spitfire for 1.5 Swick is actually more of a bargain than people give it credit for.
Yeah.
All right. Enough about
the fact
Ulhan.
that it's a +1 burst HRL as well. If it was just a regular HRL, then there'd be some arguments there. But yeah,
it would feel very fair. Yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for everyone else, it's not. And fortunately for me, I get to run around and stomp stuff with it. All right.
So tell us about Hannibal, Tristan. What
Oh
does he
my
do now?
god, Hannibal! Oh, I love it so much. So, Hannibal has a new set of profiles specifically for Neo Terra. He is incredible. So, I think compared to his other profiles, I'm not too sure. But he is his same BS13, Whip 14. He's still NWI with Shock Immune. In NCA, he gets Beast Attack +1 special dice. I think everyone has Dodge +3, or all of them. He does have Sensor and Tack Aware. I'm not sure if that's an NCA unique thing, but it is incredibly good. He is a wild card. He is a wild card, and he has the Bolts and Orcs keyword.
Jesus.
So the thing that people don't really think about, because it's not really, doesn't really come up too much aside from the crux, is that Beast Attack +1 special dice works in ARO. So you can have a duo of a Hannibal Vulcan shotgun with Nanopulsar and Flash Pulse, and that little guy is burst 3 in ARO. He's 2 effective wounds, obviously. He has Tack Aware to staple onto your Orc or your Bolt. And he comes with Sensor, and Whip 14 Sensor at that, so you're guaranteed not to fail the Sensor roll. I've said this to Jordan and Nick a couple times now, I think, and he reads to me very much like an unhackable Orc. He doesn't have 4 armor, he has 2 armor, but he's 2 effective wounds, he's really good at shooting, he's stapling, like he dodges on 14s like Orcs do. He staples Sensor and Tack Aware onto something you want. He has his own forks with a Vulcan shotgun and a +1 burst nanopulsar. And you can't underestimate a Vulcan shotgun either. Like AP continuous, 4 dice if you're in a duo. Like if it's an objective room, he can clear it pretty well.
I think the fact. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Nick.
There's also like this is a wild card with strategic deployment.
If you want to pay the 3 points, you can get strategic deployment.
And that just, yes, it's 3 points, but that opens up so many possibilities of stuff that starts where it shouldn't.
Yeah.
Because it is a wild card. He can strap that strategic deployment to anything. Like, he can strap it to Shona Carano.
Can you strap it to a tag?
You can strap it to a Squallow.
Oh, true, because no fire teaming for camo. Yep.
Yes, the Ulhan does not have is not linkable, but the Squallow is linkable.
Yep.
Shona is linkable, although you'll need something to glue them together. There is interesting possibilities there. I'm not super sold on the strategic deployments or the multi-marksman. If you're spending 29 points for a +1 burst multi-marksman, just take a Bolt Spitfire.
Yeah, the Vulcan shotgun's where it's at to defend like your Bolt, especially if they're walking up the table together. Like the fact he has tack aware as well means even if you don't opt for the strategic deployment, you're essentially getting a like free order to get your 2/4/4 guys out of a deployment zone, which is like really good.
It definitely makes up for the fact that they're slower, yeah.
Yeah, it's a very compelling package at 23 points. Like the fact he costs less than like the Bolt that you're strapping him to as well, like 9 times out of 10. Like it's very easy to sort of see the matrix with this piece of like, oh, this is going to do so many cool things.
He's also, surprisingly enough, quite a classified, like half of a classified machine. Like he's a medium infantry, he's a veteran, and he has sensor.
Yeah,
so he does a fair few.
And like Nick said as well, in like the one game in 10, because he's a wild card, right? You could be planning on strapping him to a Bolt, but if you have a Squallows in that list as well, and you've opted for the strategic deployment, like that one game in 10, you're just like, my Squallows deploys like 20 inches up the table if it's a 16-inch deployment, and your opponent's like, oh no. Like,
Yep. Well, the way I normally think about strategic deployment and even forward deployment +4, it's not so much that you're getting them further up the board, it's that you have more choices on where you can deploy them safely. So sometimes you might have a building that is partly in and partly out of your deployment zone. And having that option to go, I just need an extra inch or two so I can fully occupy this building. There you go.
There's also like interesting implications with like strapping repeaters to him with strategic deployment. Get the repeaters further forward as well.
Yeah.
And potentially you can slap him on Maximus if that's your thing.
You can just say Trent. No, you can just say Trent.
It's not my thing. I'm not trying to make a Thunderbolt work, but go for it if that's your thing.
100%.
I really like him. In the new ITS, I think there's a lot more do stuff in the middle. Like the missions are a bit more varied. There's the objective room mission that's attack a defender. I think he does really well and stuff like that. There's also the mission where you have a forward DZ. And I could definitely see parking him there and just like murdering everything behind him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Very spicy. Very spicy.
Would you like to now talk about the profile that made a lot of Americans very, very angry?
For just cause, we are now going to talk about the blockers. You didn't even know what they were called, and now you want to beat them all up in the back alley. These guys are nuts. So, let's go through it. They were Pano's premium hacker because they're Whip 13. However, now, they have become potentially the best picture thrower in the game. So we have a BS-12 X-Visor with BS attack +1 burst. You have a 19-point profile that's half a SWIC that gets you a hacking device with upgrade firewall, -3. You also get adhesive launcher rifle, you get a flash pulse, you get a pulsar, and you get a set of pitchers. This means that, on top of that, before we get to that, on top of that, they count as CSUs for the terms of duos, so you can duo them with a CSU and they get the special dice. They also count as Fusilier keywords, so you can harass them and get the keyword that way. All in all, it's only going to cost you an extra 11 points to give this guy a special dice. With that special dice, you have a burst 2.5 X-Visor that's BS12. Up to 32 inches, you are going to land your pitcher 93.6% of the time. Or should we say, basically always. This is the thing that I only thought about today, because I've never shot a pitcher beyond 32. You can land a pitcher up to 48 inches 83.4% of the time in one order. That is ridiculous. CB, please limit how far pitchers can shoot, even if it's only to 32 inches, because that's at least a marginal step in the right direction.
16 inches. Like,
48,
I love me pitches, but 16 inches, please.
48 inches for a 1 in, like more than a 4 out of 5 is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nick, you got any thoughts on those pitches?
I've played into one of them yesterday, but it didn't survive to use the pitcher. So
yeah,
well, okay,
which
it
I think
put
is
the pitcher
going,
out there and then it died.
Yeah, which I think is going to be the use case for these a lot of the time if you don't go first. I'll let you guys finish off because I have a bit of a soapbox I'm going to get up on for a little bit about these.
I think this would be a little bit more fair if it was AVA 1, but they are AVA 2, which is pretty gross. It is, as I said before, a Whip 13 hacker with inbuilt firewall, which is very, very nice. It comes with sensor, which is also really nice, and discover reroll. I'm not sure how often you're going to be using that, but against things like for days, that could come in use. It comes with a big template in a pulsar, which is really nice. And if you combine it with Devers, Locusts, and potentially like a Swiss killer hacker, I think you basically produce the strongest hacking platform Pano has ever had. I don't even think it's close.
In terms of network projection, yes.
I think even in terms of hacking. Like, I think the closest might be N4 Condicimento. But I think even that, it smashes out of the water.
Yeah, maybe.
Even the adhesive launcher rifle on that, you're up to burst 3.5. You're hitting on flats at 32 inches. My first thought was, well, he's got discover reroll. So if he's outside of sensor range, but you can
under biometric visor, he discovers for days better than any other man on the fucking planet.
Yeah, like you could. It doesn't have a lethal weapon at that range, but you can still discover shoot with this, and it is a threat.
That flash pulse is on 13s to 48 inches. If they're in cover, it's on 10s. So there are like really weird things, like a turn 3 blocker flash pulse ARO. 2 dice, 2 dice on 13s, up to 48 inches. And you're like, what is this? This is 19 points. It's done its job in turn 1. Why is it annoying me now? It is fairly stacked. For 19 points as well. Like I know baseline hackers are getting cheaper. Like, we've got the next wave guys are at 18. But they come with Mine Layer and all that good stuff. This comes with its own firewall and the best pitches in the game. I think, okay, Jordan, you can go on. I saw that little twitch.
Yeah, sure. So, I have a couple of opinions. One, if you are playing these in NCA, I think you don't run 2 CSUs. You run one of these in a duo with a CSU, and then you run the other one free range.
I agree.
Because because you get one shot at those pitches, but boy howdy is it likely to go down, and you just run a mule bot if you need it. I really don't think you will a lot of the time. The next thing is for people who are thinking, oh, they just die. It's like, well, yeah, but they become one of the best distraction Khan effects in the game. Like, the more like guided brain rot that exists, like of people who are just horrified at the idea of guided existing, basically, the better these become as a way to stop your opponent from like killing other things in your army. Like imagine, for instance, right, you're playing this, a Clipper, and like an Ulan. Some opponents are going to target priority this over killing your Ulan.
Yep.
Like that is the kind of like mental load this is going to put on some opponents. And I think it's honestly just a wild amount of like pressure to put on someone with a 19-point profile. Like 19 points, and you get all of this, and then along with what we were saying before, like turn 3, this thing can just randomly go on a bit of a run as well. Like turn 3, where you just start like adhesive rifling people at like 30 odd inches. And it's burst what, 3.5, or is it 2.5?
It's 2.5. It's 2.5.
2.5. I can never remember.
Adhesive launcher rifles are burst 2, and it's got BS attack +1 burst.
Of course, no.
Oh,
So it's got plus one
so
burst.
it's burst 3.5.
It is.
Like they're really, really good. And they're not trivial to actually kill on your active turn either, because like that firewall -3 is annoying. Like if you try and Trinity this thing, it's putting you on your base whip, and he's on 10s, and he's saving versus Trinity on 12s. Like
he has a firewall, so yeah.
That's why I mean 12s.
Yeah, he's on 12s.
Like these aren't actually trivial to take out. The fact that whip 13 as well just puts it in such a good spot in Pano, especially in like the new like operational learning era that we're in now, where like that first roll you make, your whip number matters so much, and these whip 13 guys in Pano are punching above their weight. Yeah,
I would also like to point out that it is a burst 2 pulsar as well that I didn't actually mention.
It's a burst 2 pulsar as well.
The burst 2 big template. So
yeah, they're really, really good.
Also,
again,
finally, just the math. So if you're like, as Jordan says, I kind of agree with Jordan when he mentioned this to me a couple of days ago, that you run one linked and run one unlinked because you don't want to see it. You don't want the CSU bloat. That same, if you take the special dice off shooting out to 48, it still lands 70% of the time by itself. Yeah. No special dice. So for 19 points, 70% of the time, you're landing a pitcher like board edge to board edge.
Yep. They're just really good. Like, they're just really, really good. I'm amazed that Vanilla got access to one of these. Like, if you're a Vanilla Pando player and like you haven't actually looked at your like faction list yet, you get one of these. Like, most people, I think, were running a Fennec Hacker. Like
for the fast panda,
for the fast panda,
yeah.
You just slot one of these in for 3 more points, and it is such an upgrade over a Fennec Hacker.
100%, absolutely. Oh my god, it is disgustingly good.
Yeah, just the ability to like headhunt your opponent hackers as well. Like the fact you get Davers as well. Like I think the Swiss Guard KHD is the biggest vanity piece I have ever seen in a sectorial, up there with like the Hack Tau Hacker.
I would agree with you if the new ITS wasn't so interesting. I think there's spots. Sure. I think there's spots in the new ITS missions for profiles like that. Traditionally, if we went ITS 16, I'd be like Swiss Guard KHD, go straight in the bin. It's not doing anything.
It is a vanity piece though. You can't argue that.
It is a vanity piece because you may as well just take a Dever Killer Hacker.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. Like Davers, like the fact that NCA gets to keep Davers as well, those are whip 15 hackers, by the way.
That can't be isolated.
That cannot be isolated. Like, I just, it's you headhunt your opponent's hackers with so much efficiency in this faction now. Like, unless you're like White Banner, where you have like those like 10 watt neg 6 links.
Yep.
I don't know how you're like, I don't know how hackers are surviving that turn unless you deploy like expertly well.
Yeah, they're not gonna get through things like interventors and anathematics, or maybe even Carontids. Like, you're not gonna get through that. But like, if you're running Tunguska and you're running 4 hackers, if you ignore the interventor, you can kill the rest of the hackers pretty easily. If you're running into Corregidor, Gaz and Billy is dead. Valera is dead.
I believe if you're in the big Infinity Discord, in the Nomads channel, there's a new pinned message. The buy list for Corregidor is just play NCA instead.
Mm-hmm. Corregidor's going to turn into no hacking. We're too scared to hack.
Credit to other Canberra Rob for that one, I think.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, so this yeah. Can't speak how good this is. Like I said, the Ulhan might be too good. I think this is too good. Definitively too good. It either needs a points increase if you want to keep that capability, or I think you need to make it more difficult to link, or
you just need to fix pitches.
Or you need to fix pitches.
Like
I would take fixing pitches over the rest of them, but yeah. At the very least, it should be like 24 points, I think.
No.
I think so.
I don't think so.
It feels like it's not actually paying for Biometric Visor or Discovery Reroll.
Yeah, I don't think so. It doesn't feel like it's
a bad thing, but
you shouldn't
the
pay
profile...
for Biometric Visor.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, guys, it also has a +1 Bez multi-pistol, so...
Yeah, it has a +1 first multi-pistol as well.
It's just stacked with stuff.
Enjoy those forks. It forks you in fucking inside 8 inches. Get forked.
The hacker walks up to you and goes, do you want to get multi-pistol? Do you want to get double pulsar?
Your choice.
What is this profile? Okay, let's move on. We've talked enough about the blocker. Little bit more of a tweak instead of a full rewrite. It's the Aquila Guard.
Speaking of vanity pieces.
Less of a vanity pick now, definitely was a vanity pick before. So, the Aquila Guard is relatively the same. It has gained ECM Hacker -3 and a deactivator to all its profiles. It has gained the Strategos LT profile with the multi-marksman rifle and disco baller. That is Strategos level 1. It has had the much needed change of becoming 6-2 movement instead of 4-4. Yeah, this fills the Elite LT. I'm getting more value for wanting to take MSV3 kind of guy. He's also feeding that IA NCA vibes. If you go through NCA, you'll notice there is a lot of linkable tack awareness and Strategos. I quite like it. I liked the Aquila Guard in the first place anyway. They do... NCA does have access to Chain of Command, although it is a relatively expensive one. But I think BS15 Disco Ballers are just going to be really good. And I think if you're going to take the Aquila Guard, I probably wouldn't take the HMG anyway. I'd be taking the multi-marksman rifle. If you're taking that, you may as well take the LT one. Strategos is the best skill in the game.
Even at that, you've got 2 LT profiles. They're 3 points apart, and the better one picks up Strategos and +1 Swick.
Yep.
I still think it's a vanity pick. The Lieutenant costs as much as the HMG.
Yeah, but I think you tell us how good Strategos is. Like, an extra reserve and an extra regular order.
It's 52 points.
It is, but you have 3 flashpot spots.
It's 52 points.
I understand.
And it doesn't do anything.
It shoots stuff. BS15.
With a multi-marksman rifle.
Yeah. Remember, we've had this discussion before, and like MSV3 on a HMG is wasted. MSV3 on a +1 damage multi-marksman rifle, that's pretty good. It also can shoot disco ballers through smoke. Okay,
I have a question, Tristan.
Go. All right.
Is it snowing in Magical Christmas Land?
Yes, it's hailing. Okay, I'm getting beaten to death.
Yeah. Look, it's a vanity piece. It's one of the sickest vanity pieces in the game, but it's still a vanity piece.
But it's not feels bad if you take it, I don't think.
No, it's not feels bad if you take it. But like, it's competing against Auxilla is the big thing.
Yeah. No, it is. It's competing against faction, like some of the best decoy LTs in the game.
Yeah. In a faction that like is wanting you to spend points on big pieces, where it's like, do you want an Ulan? Do you want a Swiss Guard? Do you want a Squalos? do you want Maximus if you're one of those people? Like, do you want, how many bolts do you want to take? Like, it feels like a little bit of a bit of a black hole of 52 points to take this as your lieutenant, unless you've got a very specific list in mind. Like, if you have a list in mind where you're like, you are taking advantage of every aspect of that, like, Lieutenant Aquila, then I can probably see it. But at the same time, it feels like it is just competing. It's competing in the wrong race.
Potentially. I could see it. I could see it as a second list that is made for specific things.
That's true.
You could combine this with the counterintelligence, and you could basically have like 10 orders on Shona, or 10 orders on there's freaky things you can do. It is obviously expensive, but it holds up itself pretty well. It's a wild card as well.
Yeah. Sorry. I feel like I'm being a bit too negative, and I'm sorry about that. What I'm trying to say is you need to have a plan with this. You can't just plug and play into a list.
It's not the default by any means.
You need to be doing something very specific. I don't know what that is yet, but like you need to have a plan. You need to be doing something very specific to be wanting to put this in a list, I think.
Yep. I agree.
Well, even at that, like you said, it's a wild card. So while multi-marksman isn't the greatest of range bands, if you put in a wild card into a link, it can activate while the link moves up to disco ball in front of them, and the link can also just drag it to a good place to be a multi-marksman.
Yeah, totally.
Yep. There's a lot of interesting stuff you can do. Like I don't know, things like what are the most annoying things to deal with when you're alpha striking in N5? It's things like Goudan, it's things like Liberto, like mine layers and all that kind of stuff. And this guy just goes, I pick 2 or 3 at a time, or if you you don't have to, but you can. And if one you think one of them's a mine, you just put 1 shot in the mine, you put 3 shots into whatever. It chooses to reveal and shoots at SMG at bad range or something silly, but I feel like it answers some questions with alpha striking. But you are throwing your LT up the board, obviously.
Yeah. Again, it might just be my turn tonight to be the grumpy negative one, I think.
You have a good point in that it is too expensive to just take it as an LT.
Yeah.
It needs to be an active piece, and it needs to have a place in your list where it has a job that's not just being your LT.
Yeah.
I think, the Aquila Guard and Richard Quinn, are the only sources of disco balls in NCA. If you're not planning on running a Fusilier link with Quinn, there is a solid argument that you want the BS-15 disco ballers just to not everything is solved by an Ulhan. Sometimes it's too order inefficient to solve that with an Ulhan, and you just go, I should do disco baller and do the mission and win. You're like, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Ivory's really keen on the 49 point, the specialist operative.
Yep.
So I can see it.
Yep. All right. Moving on to my last pick. I can't remember. It's the Hexa Security Division. These guys have become a little bit more intertwined with their lore, which is really, really cool. These guys, lore-wise, are sent into neighboring cities to stir up protests and discontent and make people unhappy about living and stuff like that. So for that, they have access to counterintelligence. Now, as you might know or might not know, hexes are hidden deployment models without a marker state. And to use counterintelligence, you have to be a model or a marker on the table. So if you're going first, this has to be deployed on the table to use it, to use the counterintelligence. But if you manage to get second turn, you can hidden deploy it instead. These guys have had probably the widest array of profiles. They've got a massive amount of profiles. So we start off with potentially the one that's going to be taken the most, I think, is the hacking device with Panzerfaust. You're kind of combining a couple roles there in terms of being a hidden deploy hacker and being a hidden deploy ARO piece that's like MIM6 BS13 with a Panzerfaust. We have a killer hacker with a combi rifle and an EMRAT that also obviously comes with surprise attack. It is whip 13 as well, so it is a 27 point killer hacker that's, you know, off the table, adds that extra -3. Repeaters are not going to be a problem to get down. So you could potentially neg 6 someone through a repeater and you'll be at 16s when you do it, which is really interesting. There is a PS4 multi-sniper for 30 points, which I think is a little bit of a trap, to be honest. You may as well just take the Panzerfaust, which is also 30 points. I feel like it's fairly easy to just slot in a mule bot, because you're probably going to be reloading pictures, and if you take this, you might be reloading Panzerfaust at the same time. And there is probably the most interesting to me, we have an X-Visor Spitfire with EMRAT for 31 points. I think that's actually really cool.
I'm also liking the silenced pistol +1 burst.
+1 burst silenced pistol would be cool, I think, if it had infiltration.
Yes. It is nice to have a silenced pistol here or there. It's kind of like it's nice to have a random viral pistol here or there.
Yep.
Because sometimes you get that immunity armor who comes in, and it's lovely to have that little backup BTS weapon that will damage.
Yes. Yep. So obviously, like, as we're kind of seeing, NCA still doesn't have a ton of forward deploy stuff. The Hexa does deploy in your DZ, and it is paying infiltration level of points for not infiltration on the model. But I think it's interesting. I'm not taking it for counterintelligence, if I'm honest. It's a nice little thing to have, but I'm not taking it for that. I think a 27 point off the table killer hacker is quite nice, especially since it comes with a full-size gun. I don't know. What do you guys think?
It feels like it wants to do more than its abilities allow it. It feels like it really wants that forward deploy or infiltrate.
Yeah, you read the profile like 3 or 4 times, and then you realize it doesn't have like infiltrate or even forward deploy like +4, and you're like, oh, okay. It's a bit of a hard sell. I think especially when specialists in this sectorial are competing with the Auxilia FO, which again in this era of operational learning is just a great specialist because it rolls 2 dice. Like,
yes, yep. Even
I almost want to say I like the multi-sniper profile the best out of those, because that's the type of hidden deploy, high MIM weapon you want for something that doesn't deploy out of your DZ.
If you were one of those psychos that love taking like ninja multi-snipers, this is for you.
This is a ninja multi-sniper on crack.
Yeah, this is the ninja multi-sniper on crack.
Well, I'm starting to think, I'm thinking more like the radial deployments, having the hidden deploy, MIM neg 6, surprise attack, multi-sniper. That radial deployment allows it to actually use all those range bands.
I like the radial deployment kind of points me towards the hacking device, because you can cover more of your DZ, like a larger percentage of your DZ with that zone of control hacking device, and it still has that Panzerfaust as well.
Yep.
It might come down to Swick. It might come down to if you think you need another hacker. I kind of like the idea of an off-the-table killer hacker that doesn't cost, like the Swiss KHD's 47 points. This is 27. It's a lot cheaper. The sniper's fine, I think. I still think it has the problem of all hidden deploy AROs that you roll a 17 and miss, and then they roll a 2 and you go unconscious. I've never really put much faith into them, but it is, I will say, an excellent active turn gun. Because it's not like a HRL, it's got that full range multi-sniper, if you want that sniper range band. It's just expensive. Because like a Blink's 25 points, I think. I think a Blink is significantly cheaper, and like a Noctifer's slightly more expensive, but gets dogged.
Yeah.
So I do kind of think it's a little bit of a hard sell for the multi-sniper for me. Like the PS4 doesn't mean anything, I don't think.
I think it does on a multi. Because like AP on a PS4, you're starting to push even most tags into like saving on 7s.
The Blink HRL is 28 points, and it has an X-Visor. And the Blink Multi-Sniper is 32 points. And that's just, this is just straight up better than the Blink Multi-Sniper, I think.
I think they're all hard sells.
Yeah.
Because with an off-board specialist, I typically want them to either have deployed out of my deployment zone or come on a board edge or drop. Because if they don't, I'm forced to reveal them on turn 1 because they won't be able to make it anywhere meaningful if I wait until turn 2 or 3 to reveal them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like especially move 4/4.
I'm almost sitting there going, I'd rather have a Garuda Spitfire than this and save 5 points. I can.
You literally can.
And then I can shoot a picture next to my Garuda Spitfire and give him marksmanship.
Yes, sir. Again, is it snowing in magical Christmas land?
Yep. If people want to also try out that Spitfire X-Visor profile, I think that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So go do that. All right, let's move on to the sample list. I've sent this to Jordan, and he slightly approved, so that's all the go-ahead I need. In Group 1, this is 6 Swick, 300 points, by the way, so it's a perfect list. Group 1 has 9 regular and 1 Tackaware. We've got a duo of a Bolt Spitfire and the Hannibal Vulcan Shotgun. Mwah. We have a duo of a Blocker and a CSU, just the regular Rifle Light Shotgun and a Pulsar Specialist Operative one. We have Shona Carano running around. We've got a Deva Killer Hacker running around. We have a Lone Blocker running around. We have our Decoy Auxilia running around, and we have a Mulebot to round that group off. In Group 2, which is 5 regular, 1 irregular, and 1 Tackaware, we have the Feuerback Ulhan. We have a Peacemaker with Mine Layer. We have a Guided Missile Bot. We have our Lieutenant Auxilia. We've got a 1 Fugazi Drone Bot, and we've got a Sacha for the Spice.
Just looks solid.
Yep. It might come off at an initial glance as kind of like one-dimensional. I think that just means that it has a simple game plan, not necessarily that it's weak, but that what you're going to be doing with it is fairly straightforward.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, which is definitely nothing bad. Like, Shona does Shona things, Ulhan does Ulhan things. The only kind of thing you might be iffy about is like Bolt and Hannibal. When do I use them? That kind of thing. But basically, I shoot pitches, I kill hackers, I steal tags, I choke up the midfield. My Peacemaker drops mines and drops flamethrowers and B's really annoying. And then you guided their LT and they go, what the fuck? I'm playing against Pano. Why am I getting guided? And then they try and kill your LT and they can't because both of them have a heavy flamer in front of them and you have to guess which one it is.
Yep.
So it seems pretty cool. All right.
100%.
That's been NCA. Let's move on to the French.
Okay, so next up, we've got Force to Repulse Rapide Merovingian, and I'm pretty sure I messed up at least one of those.
Force to Repulse Rapide Merovingian. That was significantly worse.
Okay, so
all
mine
right.
looks. You're letting mine look good.
I'm taking the hit. I'm taking the hit.
Taking the heat. Taking the heat. Taking the heat. Go.
So, bit of history on the French. Thematically, they're the original high-tech Ariadne sectorial because they were the ones who had the most off-world trade. So it wasn't so much that they had developed the tech, locally, like Starmada. No, sorry, not Starmada.
Neoterra?
No, Space Ariadna, and I'm blanking on the name.
Cosmo?
Cosmoflot.
Cosmo, thank you. Yes, so not like Cosmo where it's developed. This is, they have a lot of toys because they've traded and are controlling trade with the off-world. In N4, generally considered the worst sectorial in N4. I think a lot of that had to do with suffering in the rules transition between N3 and N4. I didn't play it N3, but my understanding is their playstyle worked with N3 rules far better. And they got their rules converted over at the start of N4 and then just kind of never got touched since then.
I think a lot of it was the 15 model cap. That was a lot of what like made CHA players and French players in particular really uppity.
They kind of in N4 they kind of combined like the fragility of Shazvasti with the catalog depth of US Ariadna.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of like take two of the other sectorials that were considered subpar and take their worst qualities and push them together.
Yep.
So we've got a lot of room to grow with this.
We do. I remember I played against Julian's French in N4, and the whole list was basically Nauf and Chashurs and whatever else kind of fit in the list.
Yeah.
All right.
So for the N5 redo, we have lost the Aguasil hacker, but it's been replaced by expanding the war driver. So perfectly fine. It's not bad to see the weird model go that was shoehorned in there. In addition, they have gained access to both couriers and Vistrals. They've picked up Carbon Batard, and they've picked up, like everyone else, the Sacha. Their fire teams are much better than they were in N4. They've basically taken their old fire teams and squished some of them together into new fire teams that have more options. They also have their keywords, well, to start with, exist.
Hey.
And are much better. Most fire teams, you can easily hit that 2 to 3 level fire team without feeling like you're trying to pad it out. One of the upgrades that came in with the fire teams is they got a Nauf FTO that goes in with the Metros. It loses its decoy, but being able to pop Nauf with 16 points worth of grunts and give him a special die seems like a viable strategy for some lists.
Bringing me back to N4 Starco when Nauf became linkable in Starco, and I was like, oh my god, this is busted! Now 16 points, give him a special dice. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Not bad. All right.
So, because you can flip to the next one. Because most of the French profiles did not make it into N5 at all, there's a lot more profiles that have had tweaks or just rewrites. So we'll go over more than we did for NCA, but in probably a little less depth, except for the really notable ones. Metros, their basic line infantry, now BS11, and they picked up chain colts. So rifle chain colt, we're talking about N4 Gulam range of, this is an amazing little kit of firepower. And they still start at 8 points. setting them apart from like the Rocottes and the Daylami, their infiltrating one-use camo profiles all got surprise attack.
That's really good.
Yes. So that means, whereas like with Daylami, a lot of times you can just kind of, you had to deal with them as an ARO piece, but if you didn't interact with that area of the board, you're not really concerned that the Daylami is going to walk over and panzer something, and it's going to be an issue. But in this case, tossing surprise attack on a BS11 random grunt is something that you need to consider and might actually need to look at decamoing during your turn to make sure they lose the surprise attack. Big change, their lieutenant profile. It may be whip 12, but at least it's not 2 Swick anymore. It's now 0 Swick.
Woo!
Quick.
Yeah. So for 8 points, you get a whip 12 lieutenant.
Okay.
And sometimes that's amazing because it checks the box.
Yeah, 100%. It's like it's probably it's the cheapest decoy in the game, I think.
Yeah. 16. Remember the now 16 points? That's also your lieutenant and decoy.
Yep. Got to save those points for EM5 somehow.
Yeah. So the Lugru, probably one of the more standout as far as thematic units for French, the ones who hunt down and try to control antipode population. Still a bit pricey for 1 wound and not that survivable, but they did pick up BS attack SR-1. Yeah. I like them switching out their CCWs for a para -6 CCW.
Yep.
Their 2 Swick profiles, so the viral marksman rifle and viral sniper rifle, both picked up marksmanship on top of X-Visor. They also have a 0 Swick smoke grenade launcher profile.
That's
some really nice. Oh, and the 0 Swick smoke grenade profile also picked up a light riot stopper.
And it has, I guess it has an X visor, of course, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
How far can it shoot? It can shoot to 32 on 12s with a special dice, which they'll obviously get very, very easily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's great. That's like 86%, I think, to land a smoke within 32.
Yeah. The one profile that really stands out to me is the half Swick viral marksman rifle, because that's now going to be a PS6 with X-Visor and marksmanship. And X-Visor marksman rifle is cheap and has some amazing range bands.
You know, I'm looking at this and going, yes, this is almost as good as a Lasik.
Yes, they very much feel like they were inspired by some of the Lasik upgrades.
Yeah.
I think they might still be a little overcosted when you consider their fire teams, because I think they're the only one that still doesn't mix fire teams.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So to get that special die, you're having to buy a full group of Lugru.
And they have the Harris.
Yes.
But you can stick Apaches with them.
Mm-hmm.
So you can take 1 Lugaru and 2 Apaches, and that seems pretty legit.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Ariadne's got near Huck levels of firepower.
Jesus Christ, Tristan.
Oh, it gets better.
All right.
Next up, Paracommandos didn't get a whole lot of changes to their stats, but they picked up a profile that is amazing. So they all got BTS 3, which is great. The forward observer picked up BS attack +1 special die.
Yeah.
So you've got a whip 14 forward observer who comes on from the side of the board and is rolling a 3 dice forward observe, hopefully into something's back from halfway across the board.
And if not, also has mimetism.
Yes. This pairs very nicely with the new courier profile, the Katusha, which picked up BS attack -3.
Yes.
So you've got a forward observer who can forward observe stuff better than most things can spotlight, can pick up the good angles, and then you've got an actually viable guided plan for an Ariadna faction.
Mm-hmm. And just to top it all off, it's got a boarding pistol as well.
Yep.
Yes. We mentioned that they lost the Aguasil hacker, the war drivers. They're now AVA 2 for French, and they've picked up 2 extra profiles for the French. The first is a disco ball profile, and the second one is a pitcher profile.
Oh, my pitches.
I'm not sold on the pitcher profile, mostly because they lose 0 pain and they lose cyberbinds.
Yeah.
And it's one of your 2 hackers that you could possibly take in the faction. But the disco ball profile is, I think it's very well suited to, now you've got the hacker in there for objectives, and in case you need it for other like spotlight or
in case of
just as that
MSV
annoying-
ARO piece break glass, right?
Yeah. They link with metros as well. So again, 16 points, you get your LT and a decoy, and now your disco ball has a special die.
Nick,
Okay.
I'm going to hit you with the spicy takes and say, I disagree. I reckon if there's AVA 2, I reckon you take a disco ball, you take a pitcher, they can be linked, but you then have 2 Sixth Sense hackers with forward network projection for any HI with stealth that is not going to be able to walk through that. I actually think that's legit.
Okay, I can see.
Obviously, if they have like killer hackers and shit, you're like, oh god damn it, whatever. But
I just think you just take the disco ballers and you're like, look, I know I'm Ariadna. I no longer lose to my opponent having 1 good MSV gun on Overwatch.
If you're only taking 1, you take the disco ballers 100%.
Yes.
I think the second one you take though is the half swick one, because then you're still like, if you take both, that's 2 swick on disco balls and like 0 pain cyber mines.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, I agree. I taking 2 disco ballers is just too expensive, especially on the Swick side. But if you're taking 2, then look at the pitcher.
If they had an actual, like, if they had a real guided bot that wasn't a Katusha MRL, then I'd be higher on this. But, like, it's a fake guided bot, right? Like,
it has BS attack guided.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
It's BS attack guided. It's BS attack -3 on the BS.
Yeah,
attack
so it's
guided.
not. It's like less. It is less effective guided, but it's not like It's not like you're spec firing and praying that the thing hits.
Yeah, you're not spec fighting and praying. It is, but it is just like it is less effective.
Yeah, it's either DA or it's AP shock, and they're both PS6. So it's not amazing, but it is cheaper than a guided missile bot. And it has like Mine Layer and Warhorse on top of that. And it's a baggage bot on top of that. So it's like, it's also a little bit of slot compression in that regard as well.
Yes, the couriers did get a nice upgrade with Warhorse. So now your artillery bot that's in the back is also providing a Warhorse order. And it's a Mine Layer now. And it has chest mines. So the couriers are an excellent addition to French, though I will argue that the Vistrals are more important for French to have now.
Yeah. Just a point from one of the patrons, Mickey, in chat as well. You'd like to take 2 war drivers, but you can only have 1 in a metro team.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
A second metro team, and at that point, you've used up all your cores and Harises.
Yep.
Or you just have 1 free ball.
Yes.
Yes.
It really
Probably
At that point,
yeah.
I think you have the disco baller be the free range war driver because they've got double shot.
Yeah. Yep.
totally.
I think that's like game by game. Like if you're going up
Mhm.
against I don't know, someone that has a lot of MSV1, then you're like, I'm gonna link the
Mhm.
disco ballers. If you're coming up against someone who's like they don't like JSA, like they might not have super amazing killer hackers, because they don't really, but if there's a lot of stealthy HI that I think are going to run across the table, like Tankos and Domaru, I'll link the pitches and try and get those down faster as well. So I think you can kind of go either way. All right.
So two profiles got a fair workover. The Zouaves, previously in N4, they were forward deploying infantry that couldn't link and didn't have a marker state. They had some sappers. I didn't really in N4 see where they fit in that well. They're now in a position where they definitely can be used if you want to. I haven't figured out where I'd like them in the list yet, though. They're now move 6-2 with Warhorse. They went from forward deploy 8 to 4, but they're wild cards. So having a 6-2 dogged specialist that you can just attach to whatever fire team you want could be a viable strategy if you've got a fire team that's already moving up the field, and then you can get break off and have them run. The profile that I am curious to try out is the one non-FTO, because it's the one sapper that's left. And it's a sapper mine layer with T2 marksman rifle PS6 and an assault pistol. It's half a SWIC, but it's also 30 points.
That's a bit spinno.
So some of the French models definitely are looking really good, and some of them are still in that I'm not sure I feel comfortable paying that many points for like a one wound armor 2 0 BTS model.
Yeah, even with Sapper.
Yeah. Moving on to the brisk cards, we start to see some of the new text that has come in with the French. So they've got climbing plus now. Excellent. Sets them apart. They've got medikit phys equals 14, which is not the last time this will come up in the French. Downside to the medikit phys equals 14 is they're not shock immune.
Okay.
So it's not quite as useful on the brisk cards. They picked up Warhorse as well. So now we've got the Suaves, the brisk cards, and the couriers that all have Warhorse. So you can get a fair amount of Warhorse in the French now. The brisk cards are ones that link with Moblots. So having picked up a +1 burst in the HRL, not bad. Could be plopped in with the Moblots. They also picked up AP on their marksman rifles. So the baseline, you've got, again, kind of looking like a... Sorry, I am blanking on the name.
Like
a random Hawk unit?
Yeah, Hawk, hang on.
The one I mentioned before, or a new one?
The Lasiques, yes. Sorry, Lasiques. So you've got climbing plus, you've got marksman rifles that are now AP, so you can get up to interesting places. Again, I think they might be a little pricey for how much you're getting on just one wound.
They're teetering on the edge. Yeah.
Yeah. If we go to the next one, is where, oh boy, French have some units now. Moblots, they are still one wound, but they are pushed to the brink of what you can do with one wound. They're now whip 14. They've picked up combat instinct. They've got medikit physicals 14, and they are shock immune.
Okay.
So they still go down because they're only 1 Vita, armor 3, BTS 3, but they're pretty recoverable now. The big one, and I had much fun with this yesterday, they have dodge +1 special die. The
That's
number of
cool.
orders that this eats in ARO was not making my opponent happy. They're only Fizz 12, but you only need one of those special die to be a success. And that was... they dodged to places they shouldn't have, and were avoiding attacks that just caused my opponent to burn orders. It was lovely. They've picked up immunity to immobilized B. Margot also picked this up. I expect to see this pop up on most of the Ariadna heavy infantry that's non-hackable the next time they get an update. Because this closes up one loophole that existed for the Ariadna non-hackable heavy infantry, and that was EM weapons. EM weapons could still cause them to be electronically isolated, or electronically
Immobilized.
Immobilized, because it's the one thing that doesn't refer to the hackable state. It only refers to all the types of infantry and vehicles that are usually hackable. Whereas like Cyber Mines makes note that it has to be hackable for that to take effect.
Yep.
They've also picked up TAC-aware on every profile.
They need it.
And yes, so this, in my 2 games with them yesterday, really helped their survivability, because now they've got plenty of orders to just take the long way around. Like, they can pick their fights after they're supported by a disco ball and just walk, get into the right place before they take the fight, rather than being forced to take the fight from the place where they can get to with their limited orders. They've picked up boarding pistols, and all of the non-SWIC profiles now have Flamen Spears. So even the basic grunt mob lot now threatens stuff at HMG range bands. They did lose their sapper profile on their HMG.
Oh no.
Which is
Oh no.
It's unfortunate, because almost all the really beautiful sapper models for French have lost sapper. As much as I don't like the fact that those models now need to be... you need to figure out how to get them onto a 25mm base, I think it makes their rules work better.
Yeah. You can do it. It would not be that hard.
Yeah. The SWIC options are also expanded, where now they have the option of either an HMG or a PS5 AP Spitfire for the same points. I've noticed that the French are a little weak on range bands over 24, because most of their stuff wants to do the best gunfighting at Spitfire range bands. Hence why Vistral, excellent addition to the faction. Disco Balls, excellent addition. So that, combined with all the TAC-aware, you can figure out a way to get into those correct range bands at good angles and take those AP Spitfire fights.
It's definitely an interesting, very unique way of taking a a profile without kind of turning it into something that someone else already has, and
Yes.
like maintaining, like CB really wanted this to be one wound. Like it was staying one wound no matter what. I'm kind of like, I don't know, I'm not 100% convinced. It feels as if French have more vegetables than any other faction. It's kind of what I'm getting from this.
There are enough good profiles to have variety making French lists now. There are also still one of the problems that it had prior, which is a lot of stuff that pays for tools but doesn't pay for survivability.
Yeah.
So, like with the Zouaves and Briscards. Zouaves and Briscards, light and medium infantry, a lot of their profiles are the same or more expensive than the Moblots now.
Yep.
I think the Moblots make French absolutely viable now. Not necessarily good, but they're no longer defaulting to the bottom of the tree for which profile or which sectorial is best.
Yep.
They're now in a position where you can make arguments for where they go in the lower tiered factions.
Are they still the worst variation of Ariadna?
No, it's US.
No, I think that's still US.
Throw US in the bin. I forgot about US. Aside from US, which is objectively the worst,
No, I think they are still the worst.
I think so.
Because I feel like they actually have some unique strengths over TAC, whereas TAC doesn't really have punch. Like, if we're being honest. And a lot of the TAC players in Australia kind of use the couriers, they use the Vistrals, dog warriors, but in place of dog warriors, you have things like EM5. I think there's an argument that French could kind of play similar to TAC, but have a lot more unique strengths in terms of, like, you know, viral, like marksman and all that, like marksmanship and X visors and all that kind of stuff, and even pitches.
I think the French benefit over TAC. So TAC has a very narrow but deep toolkit. And the French have a wider toolkit than TAC, but it doesn't go as deep. So TAC has the ability to really just overcommit to a strategy. And the French still need to have like some of several strategies that fit together.
Yep, all right. Let's talk about... Ooh, this is a big one.
Okay. Yes, this is a big one. I haven't tried it yet. I'm not sure where it fits in. Part of the issues is that the Anaconda is the same points as Margot and Dirac. However, the Anaconda, kind of like the Iguana, but went in a very different direction. Like the Iguana went in a direction of, there is a heavy infantry in here. It is going to have the survivability of a tag and then a heavy infantry. Anaconda still has a mercenary civilian pilot in there. The main change the Anaconda got is immunity AP on armor 7. So it only, like, its escape system triggers after 2 wounds out of 3. But unless you're using a blast template to deny it cover, it's armor 10, full stop.
Yeah.
It can it can get close to having situations similar to a Yodam. It's not going to hit the same highs as the Yodam, but it doesn't change. Like the Yodam with against AP in cover is worse than the Anaconda.
Yep, the Yodam gets to be worse for 3 more wounds until it dies, though.
True.
Like,
They also
this
picked
is
up
a very
Warhorse.
fancy heavy infantry.
It is. I think immunity AP makes it worthy of trying and seeing where it fits in.
I could see
The
that.
problem, I think, with French is that their stuff is really expensive for the amount of tools they get, and I'm not sure how you end up fitting this in unless it's this or Margaret and Rock.
But I think you want Margot and Duroc over this every time.
I think that's...
Oh no, go on. Finish
Sorry,
the thought. Finish the thought.
Oh. I think Margot and Duroc is the reason that this, even with immunity AP, is going to struggle to see list time.
Yeah.
That said, it did get more upgrades. It got Warhorse.
Yep.
So back to it can't be isolated. Warhorse does kind of reduce the functionality of immunity AP because isolating is the only AP hacking.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd rather just be immune to it than have to,
Yes,
make a
slightly
save.
better.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah. It did
not
get
taking
a nice
a PS4
cleanup.
save is better than taking a PS4 AP save.
Yes. It did get a nice cleanup on some of its bloated weapons. So previously it had an AP Spitfire, an HRL, and a Thunderbolt AP. Which 2 of those completely overlap, and 1 of them mostly overlaps. So now it's got an AP Spitfire, a heavy flamethrower +1 burst, and keeps the AP Thunderbolt.
Mm-hmm.
I like that weapon loadout because at 59 points it doesn't feel like you're paying. AP Spitfire is the main gun there. You've got the heavy flamethrower for close range, and the AP Thunderbolt, it's not really an active turn, but it does provide that I need to engage them at range bands over my Spitfire.
It honestly, it reminds me of, I sit on a building, I'm armor 10, and I throw Thunderbolt shots past 32 at you. Ha 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 ha.
It also has that, yes. I hadn't thought of that as the main. Yeah, that works pretty well too.
Oh my god, you don't have any BT yet. Or like it doesn't matter. Like you have a PS4 gun, I'm still saving on 14s.
Yeah.
And that's the best case scenario for me.
I think that's my preferred profile. It's still got the HMG Panzerfaust and light shotgun. That profile went from +1 to +2 burst on the light shotgun. So it's a burst 4 light shotgun. But I don't think that sells me on it. The operator got a bit more survivable. So the operator keeps Warhorse, or the Warhorse upgrade. They picked up MIM -3, and they randomly got a smoke grenade launcher. So at least now when it pops out, it's going to be a bit more difficult to down it for VP. And it still has an impact it can give to your game without putting it at risk. Meaning you could put the Anaconda up there, take 2 wounds, go to your operator state, and just retreat the operator, pop some smoke out there in safe places, and you haven't lost 59 VP yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yet.
Yet. Oh, okay, yeah.
So I would love to make a comparison here. This is the natural enemy of the Ulhan. If we want to scroll all the way back to this.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
HRL kills a 3 wound Squallow 44% of the time in one order. The Ulhan kills a 2 wound. So he pops the operator out. 36% of the time, and straight to dead 20% of the time. Literally, I will take this off the table less often than a Jotun.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's really good.
I
Even though the
I'm
Anaconda's
looking
on like
forward-
7s, it's just there's so much armor. And that's for the
I'm looking
HRL.
forward to seeing this in when we get to Starco, because I think it's going to have a little more home in Starco.
Yes.
Yeah, it does more in Starco.
Yes, it's linkable, I believe.
As I said, there's a lot of changes. Some of the notable minor ones. Brunt went up to BS 13. He only has one camo infiltrating profile left, and it's not an LT.
Okay.
But he's FTO in the rest of them. So he's kind of... He had a bunch of different camo forward deploy or camo infiltrate profiles before, and they weren't very different. So now you've got the option of, I want him up the board as a camo BS13 AP Spitfire, or he's going to be back and supported by a fire team. Margot switched from NCO to TAC aware and picked up Combat Instinct. Combat Instinct is nice on her because it means you can't just use stealth models to try to get her back out of your DZ. If you're trying to sneak around her in your DZ, she's dodging every time.
Yeah.
The TAC aware, it's kind of a wash. It looks nicer, it feels better, but French don't really have any active lieutenants, and they've only got one NCO profile, and it's not that great. So I think this is just a minor side grade, maybe. But maybe, I don't know, do you have more NCOs in Cosmo?
You have Wallace.
Yeah.
So you use his
Yeah,
LT order
okay,
as a coordinate order.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I think the TAC aware feels better, but functionally, I don't think it's going to change anything.
I think Takaway is just better, I think, is how the math works out.
Oh, it's
Yes.
strictly better because you're just...
Yeah, it is just strictly better.
Mm-hmm. Wolfgang Amadeus. He's a Wolver, so he picked up +6 to discover.
Okay.
Which is surprisingly good.
Yep.
As mentioned, the courier tractor mules got chest mines, so they've now got a close range defense. They're baggage, so they reload their own chest mines if for some reason they survive using them.
Yep.
The Katusha also picked up BS attack -3, which it's only a BS 11 guided, but BS attack -3, and you're starting to balance it out maybe a little. And on top of that, it means that if you're guided, using it as a guided, they're -6 to their reset roll as well.
Yeah.
They're also just -6 to dodge a spec fire.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So anywhere, like we've had people, I've had someone spec fire me and kill my Fennec lieutenant by spending 5 orders on a Kantushka, and I was dodging on like 8s or 7s. Now I'm dodging on 4s. So like it's a lot more of my opponent just needs to land an 8 than it's like an even face to face.
It also gives a reason to take the Katusha
Over the courier,
because over the other
over the burst 3
courier.
one, yeah.
Yeah, because previously it's like you've got burst 3 total reaction, or you've got burst 1. And it was really hard to justify. This, I think, makes it a choice of how do you intend to use it, and can you get a game plan around spec firing, guided, or anything like that, and getting a BS attack -3 on top of that.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
definitely it's a question now where it wasn't before.
yes. The Apaches, previously they had BS attack +1 burst on the non-FTO profiles. It's now on all profiles. And all their non-FTO profiles now have forward deploy +8.
That's cool.
So this gives a nice differentiation between I've got the FTO profile that I'm going to put in with the Lugaroo and walk up with them, or I make them a fast warband that's forward deployed 8.
Sure.
They did lose wildcard status, but I think this is probably a better place for them.
Sure.
So
That forward
leaves the
deploy
question
Apache is
of,
actually really gross.
yeah,
He deploys at like 20. He super
Yeah.
jumps another 8, and then he's got twin chain rifles, or he super jumps and then normal moves, or dodges, and then berserks someone, or jumps again and drops 2 chain rifles and goes, "I have 2 wounds. We can start trading," like, and all that for 17 points.
yeah.
They're good.
Yeah, that's really good. All right.
So I guess it leaves us at where is the sectoral now? I think it's viable.
Okay.
You can build lists out of this. I ran them twice yesterday, and it was fun. Was it a good list? Is it a good sectoral? It's still on the bottom, but not the bottom.
Yeah.
So I think the revisions to French now close up the range of the top and the bottom for sectorals. They did lose most of their sapper profiles, and probably going
For the best.
to be a sticking point for people who still have a full French army, because some of the most beautiful models that CV has made are the French sappers.
Yeah.
Because they got a full 40 mil to fully sculpt the sapper and the terrain that they're dug into and sandbag and get these poses that you can't really do on a 25 mil.
I do love it, yeah.
I think the Vistrals make French work right now. They cover the ARO and range band, where most of the French stuff really doesn't want to deal with much that's over.
Yeah.
And the Vistrals give you that option of, I've got a 2 wound sappered model that's going to sit back here and spit out 2 AP sniper rounds at anything that moves.
Yep. The only thing I kind of worry about, I think it was mentioned in the chat before, is that the French don't get the helper bot like TAC do, and
Correct.
they don't really get the cheap engineers. Like a dozer 14
No.
points is cheap. TAC is getting an Ermendino and a bot for 10 points.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're running a courier, you're running and a Vistral, you might try to rely on speedballs a little bit more, but that dozer might have to stick with that Vistral the whole game.
I think you just rely on 2 wounds and let your opponent just throw orders into it and say you're happy with that.
Yep.
If you can speedball it back up, amazing. But you're right. They don't have the engineering structure, especially without the helper bots, to have your normal TR bot set up where you put it somewhere that's a bit overexposed. It does its job until it falls down prone. You pick it back up.
All right, let's go do the math.
Well, he does the math.
Vistrals are 3 armor?
I think let me check. I think they're 2 armor. It might be 3. They're 2 armor, but they have sapper. So they're effectively 5 armor with mimetism.
HRL cares not for your sapper.
Oh, fair. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're doing that.
By this measurement, I think it's better by a landmark to have an Anaconda ARP.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you're talking about an HRL tag, yes, the HRL is not something that defends against.
Oh shit! I know, but it's like even the burst difference. Like I'm killing the Visceral 52% of the time in a single order. I'm only doing that to the Anaconda. Like what was it? Like 32% of the time. Like it's massive difference. Anyway.
Yeah, but you're also paying less than
way
half
more
the
points.
points.
Yeah, way more points. Yeah, I know.
One of the nice things I saw in this, and I hope this is something that CB did intentionally. They have a really nice spread of LT profile choices. They don't have a lot of, they have a lot of variety in a limited number of LT choices. So they've got the choice of, I want a cheap LT, it's 8 points and it's whip 12. And it ticks the box of I have an LT. But then you've got a whip 13 that has +1 lieutenant order. You've got a whip 13 that has and you've got 13. So you can kind of pick and choose how much you want to invest into an LT.
Sure.
Okay.
The moblots, I think, are... I enjoyed playing them. That you can't play them fully like normal HI.
No,
but
you
they
literally
still,
can't.
Yeah.
It's because they're
but
not
they
HI.
Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
they're not.
Like, they are some of the best medium infantry in the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there you go.
Actually, yeah, that's a good point, Mickey. So from the chat, Carbon Batard. Haven't touched on them, but yes, having that really fast warband available. I haven't been looking as seriously at Carbon Batard in N5 just because of the pistol changes. Whereas in N4, with her +1 burst heavy pistol, she was natively 2 burst in CC. And now she's down to 1 burst in CC unless she gets Batard in there.
Yep.
But it still is a really fast chain rifle. But it's also the same cost as the forward deploy attack.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm probably,
So,
I'm taking 2 Apaches first, and then I'm taking Carmen and Batard. The Apache is also regular at the same time.
Yes.
And has that 2 burst in CC and all that good stuff. And is full NWI, not just dogged.
Oh, yes. I do have hopes for this because they are currently not listed as out of catalog in our...
I think it's like exclusively because of the reinforcements pack.
Yes, I'm... It's probably because of the reinforcement pack, because they actually still make several of the French models.
I'm not sure how many hopes I'd get up. It just feels like the reinforcements pack existing is like keeping that afloat.
Yes. It would be nice to see, because right now they picked up 3 or 4 different unit types that previously weren't in N5 because they didn't in the pack. Hopefully they will come out with some of those, but yeah, I wouldn't get my hopes up any soon. Maybe I'm probably trying to read into this little hopefully.
All right.
So, we've got a sample list. Ran this yesterday. It was fun. Is it good? Not sure, but it was fun. Group 1, we've got a Harris of 2 Metros, a Grunt and a Lieutenant, and a War Driver with disco balls.
Yep.
In the midfield, we've got Burant, so infiltrating camo with AP, and then 2 Chester forward observers to both do objectives and I've got a random light flame for them.
Yep.
Round that out with a Vistral Neurosnakes AP Sniper and Margot and Duroc. Yep. So once that's all on the table, it's 8 regular orders, 1 irregular, 1 attack aware, and 1 Impetuous for potentially 11 orders.
Sure.
Group 2 got a War Core, 2 Tractor Mule deactivators, and then a Haris of a Moblot AP Spitfire, a Moblot Paramedic, and Wolfgang Amadeus.
Yep.
So with that, that's an 8-order group. So regardless of how my opponent wants to hit that to dock orders, there's plenty of orders in each group to do everything that needs to be done.
Plenty of orders. I find it so surprising that a French list basically has 5 slots doing fucking nothing.
Yeah.
And 2 of those slots are also off the table. So, like, you look at it and go, there's 5 things here that are doing absolutely nothing. There's 2 things off the table. Is there 6 models total?
It absolutely says, I have Margot and Duroc coming.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do to avoid that one, though.
No, you can't.
No, I don't think so. And this is kind of... I think this shows partly, like what you said, there's 5 models that are not doing anything. And that is what allows it to do so much with expensive 1-wound infantry.
Yeah.
So
2, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to
We'll see how it
count
goes.
what are usable wounds? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Like 17
10,
wounds?
11, 12,
No, 18?
13 usable wounds.
Oh, God.
Ugh. I'm glad you had
those
fun, Nick,
face-to-face rolls.
because I would be scared shitless to run this. All right.
It was not an easy list, but it's a finesse list. It was fun.
Yeah, sure.
Very cool. All right, let's move on to
Okay, we've got Varuna.
Varuna.
All right. So I think maybe the other, like the Pano Sectorial that people were most surprised to see go, I think there was a lot of people who were going, that doesn't feel right. Varuna doesn't feel that old. So people who weren't super aware, they were a very defensively minded Pano Sectorial, like honestly one of the most obnoxious to fight into Sectorials in the game. They were well known for being one of the 3 places you could play Helots in N4. Now there are 2 places that you can play Helots in N4, and both of them are Pano, baby.
Are they not in Toharin? They were only Spiral, eh?
They're only in Spiral Core.
Pano have locked down the Helot market.
100%. They struggle to attack super well. They tended to play a lot of castle games. You'd see stuff like the Squarlos Mark 1 grenade launcher actually doing work as like a anti-nomads tool in this sectorial, because it would just like ping Morans on rooftops to allow your Montesas to go forward, which is really funny. And yeah, they lacked good, cheap close assault options that were unhackable, and they suffered a lot in the big fire team update in N5, because for the first part of N4 and the last part of N3, Infinity players had to learn how to deal with a Kamau sniper, and they didn't like that.
Yep. Oh my god, an MSV2 sniper with mimetism. However will I win?
It's BS16.
Oh my
16. Gosh. You did add the most well-known Spiral Core player of all time, and I assume returning Varuna player, now that they're back in the game, did in fact get second at BCB 2 years ago, I think, running like double Kamau snipers as his main list.
3 years ago.
3 years ago?
Yeah,
oh yeah, 3 years
3
ago.
years ago.
Yep, 3 years ago.
Yeah, because I was at Kensington.
That was at Kensington.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good event. Alrighty then. So, Varuna only gained and lost like very little. They gained the Knight of Montesa on foot. They gained the Sacha like everyone else did. They lost Maximus and the Squallow Mark 1. Ripped the Squallow Mark 1. It's actually... Look, I'm happy it's finally fucking gone, but it has actually meant some losses. And we're going to talk about the sort of first notable profile changes, which is and adopt something that Vanilla has that you can now do in Varuna, which is the Patsy and a Helot team. So Patsy gained FT Master Helots since the start of N5. You can pair her up with the FTO Helots. They have all the same options as the Camo Helots, but are cheaper by a strong factor. And you're also getting Sensor on them as well. For those of you playing along at home, that means your Helots are +9 to discover in a Haris team.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if that's ever going to come up, but it is really, really funny. Something this does change as well is that these Helots are now 0 Swick and they're regular. The Patsy Fire team really helps to relieve the pressure that was previously on both the Swick and a regular budget in Varuna. You can now sort of play just that singular irregular Helot if you feel like it, if you're playing this team, and you're not sacrificing much of anything in terms of losing the camo state, I think.
Yeah, because that's a noticeable difference, isn't it? The AVA 3 in Varuna.
AVA 3.
Yep.
And you can actually flex that full AVA, I think, pretty comfortably.
Yep.
And this is a personal opinion for me. I think that non-camo Helots really encourage worse play patterns from opponents, and you tend to kind of... Camo Helots could be ignored. For some reason, people just really like fighting the non-camo FTO Helots. I don't know why. You just kind of get people with them more than you would the camo Helots. And the whole team has stealth as well. Patsy is a heavy infantry with stealth, NCO, and Warhorse. There's not a lot you can do to actually disable her that isn't just killing her.
Yep, and pray you kill her before she bricks you.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, you have to. She's an FO as well, so she's a Whip 13 specialist in Pano, which is really, really big in this in ITS 17. She's a forward observer. She's got NCO as well, so she helps use that lieutenant order, which isn't always getting used otherwise. And is a warhorse, and she's got that emitter as well, so that fire team is potentially 2 light rocket launcher AROs and a burst 1.5 emitter.
And,
it's really
and
good.
You can't hack her and break the link either.
Nope, you cannot. You can carbonite her, but the link still remains, which I think is big. Yep. I think Ed's typing, but I don't know, Ed, how you feel about this team, but I think it's really, really good.
At AVA 3, you could potentially do 2 with Patsy to form a Haris, and then 1 camo to put in awkward places.
100%.
Yep. Absolutely. They're really, really good. Like, this team has a lot more legs in Varuna than it does in Vanilla Pano, where you could just sort of stick the Helots with Joan and get basically the same effect. But in Varuna, this feels like a really, really good way to spend points. That I think before people were taking Patsy very occasionally, and this just sort of uses her better, I think. But yeah, like the Helots are great.
The 34 points for Patsy is much more palatable when you consider you get 2 regular orders for 10 points each that also act as arrows.
Okay. Yeah, I can definitely see that. All right. But yeah, like, you play around with this, see what you think. I think the FTO Helots in general just have legs. Like, I'm really liking the options that they do tend to give you. Something really interesting, though, is the new Knight of Montesa profile. So if you were living under a rock, you didn't notice this. The Knight of Montesa on foot gained +1 special die, and is a 20-point paramedic FTO that can pure duo with Kamau.
It also has a Blitzen.
And has a Blitzen.
And Mimetism.
Yep, and Mimetism. And it's a burst, what's that, 2.75 boarding shotgun. 2.75.
No, okay, yeah, I understand the logic, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess you've been dealing too much with how you count bathrooms and houses.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's 2.75. Burst 2.75.
For 20 points.
And 20 points. Limited cover as well, not no cover. So that armor 4 is going up to armor 7 when they're actually fighting stuff, and that mimetism basically counts as cover for the terms of like the up down.
Yep. it kind of, aside from BS13, it pretty much has like the stats of an orc in terms of shooting.
Yep. Whereas like previously, stuff like Kamau's tended to be pretty like landlocked. Like you would sit them in one place, they'd act as Kamau's, or you would occasionally, I think, see like a solo Kamau HMG. Now you just like, you get your Kamau and you give him his friend and they go and do crimes.
Hell yeah.
And the friend is a specialist as well, which is just even better. Like, I can't say enough good things about these Knights of Montesa. Again, 20 points for 2 wounds is just really compelling. Like
2 wounds at 4 arm and 6 BTS. Yeah.
Yep. Like, it's just a deeply, deeply compelling profile. And I think every now and then as well, I think someone is going to try the Red Fury. I can already feel it. Because it's like, oh, it deploys like 8 inches forward. I can see it. I see the vision. Please don't do it.
No,
32 points for a limited cover Red Fury, even if it starts 8 inches up the table, is whatever.
It is. But yeah, can't say enough good things about that FTO. Like,
how are you getting up to 6 dice?
What?
Because that can't fire team.
Yeah, can't fire team.
I didn't say 6 dice. Or did someone else say 6 dice?
Ed did.
Oh, no, sorry, from chat.
Right. Yeah, not linkable.
Not linkable, unfortunately.
Pure duo in its own team. Yeah, we're not doing that.
Is it snowing in Magical Christmas Land, Ed?
There's already 1 special dice. We don't need 2 for an extra 26 points.
Yeah, but like trying to like walk up on these Kamau duos with like the Knight of Montesa friend guarding them seems horrific. Like, you turn the corner, look at the Knight of Montesa, and it just rolls 3 dice looking for fucking 19s.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. It could feel slightly oppressive as well, but you know.
They're 4/4.
Yeah, it's like reinforcing the Verd. You can't come in here. This is my house.
Yeah, but it's giving Varuna tools to sort of move forward, where previously Kamau's just didn't move. Now you're sort of being encouraged to actually start like moving them up the table and getting them more into the game.
Yeah, I don't know. I still kind of think it's more of an ARO piece, but yeah.
It is.
But it's like, I'm a burst 3 blitzen in ARO. And you're like, excuse me? It's like, well, I'm only hitting you once, but I'm rolling 3 dice. And you're like, oh shit. This is a 2 wound Helot with a blitzen.
Jesus. All right. Okay. Let's talk about Zulu Cobras. So, get the big thing out of the way. The Killer Hacker has pitches now. I don't know what the hacker is that is supporting the Killer Hacker. Like, I don't think you're doing guided with this because it's a BS13 pitcher. I don't think you're doing this. But you know what? Someone might.
It could just be to give the Killer Hacker range to assassinate.
I think it is too. It gives the Killer Hacker range. I think you were already always taking a Killer Hacker Zulu Cobra in Varuna. Now you've just got even more of a reason to. I think there's play to a bunch of these profiles, like the Mine Layer X-Visor and with multi-marksman rifle. I can actually see that seeing some table time.
Yeah, with EM Mines for 26 points in Harvest Week is excellent.
That is like a compelling number of skills that just sort of all add up to a really nice little package altogether, and I'm quite a fan of it. Zulu Cobra are just excellent in general. They're light infantry and veterans as well, I think.
No idea.
There is just a nice... Hold on, let's see, am I talking out of my ass? They are veterans. Okay, thank God.
Woo.
Yeah.
Zulu
Cobra are great.
Yeah. Sorry.
I can see people using up their full AVA of them potentially.
I probably wouldn't go that far, but yeah. Yeah. Is the jammer, is that still a thing? Are we still taking the jammer?
I don't know. I mean, it's better now that reloading works better.
Yep.
Like, I don't know. Hold on, we've got Ed here. Ed, are you playing a Jamba Zulu Cobra?
Ed, tell us what to do. Tell us what's good.
I assume you've been in the brew house. Yeah, it's the tech choice for a camo lieutenant. Hell yeah.
It is a zero
Oh,
swick
yeah.
camo LT. And that's
it is a
fairly
zero sig
uncommon.
camo LT. Yeah.
But there
It's,
isn't like any decap missions aside from the direct action mission.
which is going to see a fair bit of play.
But potentially, like I can see it. There's less missions overall that demand you kill your opponent's LT.
Yes, there is. No, I like it. I think that's cool. Yeah, I think the jammer does definitely have a bit more play now that reloading's been fixed as well. Yeah, I think Zulu Cobra are great. Onto what I think is maybe something that people were like the most excited for the return of. I know a lot of people like love their Varuna orcs.
Dante was shouting with the voice of 5 men.
Absolutely, it's an orc with stealth and warhorse.
The warhorse is so good.
Oh,
The warhorse is really good.
It's hidden in there, isn't it, Luke? It's like, oh, Nick, it's just sitting there going, warhorse. You're like, ooh, it's it.
warhorse.
Because every profile has it, but it's not up top.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It makes zero sense, but here we are.
I think it's because they're orc troops and they want to keep the base profile the same across all the factions.
Sure.
Hence the unique stuff being in the actual like unit description type lines.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I understand that.
I don't know. Like, I think there's play to just as like your lieutenant, you just take the HMG potentially. It can't be isolated.
Yeah, 100%. It's almost like a baby gamma.
Yeah, it's like it is. It is a baby gamma. Hell yeah. Yeah, I think people are really excited for these to return. I can see why Stealth Warhorse is huge. Being able to make like them as their little team is great. I know people love the multi-rifle tin bot as well. I know Lockie Carter loves a multi-rifle tin bot.
Fuck the multi-rifle tin bot. Give me the multi-rifle warhorse hacking device for stealth.
Yeah, that too.
That's so cool.
Stealth hackers, man, they're so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there's a ton of little play you can do with these things. I'm pretty excited to sort of see what people are going to come up with. I think like I've said in the slide here, I think lists are going to be taxed one of these to act as a gun if you're not playing a tag, because otherwise Varuna can kind of lend itself to the problem some sectorials have where it's like, all of my guns are 1 wound and I am 3 bad face-to-face rolls away from losing 4.5 swick.
Yes. Yep.
Like,
you don't want to rely purely on Kamau.
You don't. Oh man, I say that now, but you're going to see the list that I've brought to show people. But you know what? I believe in it. But yeah, I think that if you are playing a Squallos or a Cutter, you are probably going to be taking one of these, the HMG, probably to just sort of act as a gun. One orc does seem needed, I think. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm glad my vibe wasn't super far off on that, Ed.
They also just provide a nice count. Like Beer's attack -3 is more common now, and it's just nice like Swick counter to Beer's attack -3.
Yeah, it's just a great little insurance policy.
Yep. All right. It's the list.
Right. So this is a sample list. This is courtesy of Ivory. They sent it to me a couple of days ago. I don't agree with everything in this list, but I think it is a really cool exploration of the things that Varuna can do now that you just wouldn't see in lists before. The groups need a little bit of work, but the general idea is you have a Kamau HMG paired with a Knight of Montesa FTO, a Kamau multi-sniper paired with another Montesa FTO. You have your 2 Helots and Patsy. One has a submachine gun like rocket launcher, one has a Red Fury. And then you have a third Kamau duo. This time it is a Kamau MSV-1 with heavy rocket launcher and Bipandra tactical awareness. So that's group 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then in group 2, we have 2 Zulu Cobras. One of them is the KHD. The second one is the Combi Rifle Jammer Lieutenant. You got your Peacemaker with Orcspot Mine Layer, a third Helot, this time a Camo Helot, and 2 Fugazi Drone Bots.
Yeah, that doesn't let anything in. That's a chastity belt of an infinity list right there.
Oh no, Ed, is that an illegal link?
Oh no, he's
Oh
over it.
no.
Oh, Kamau and
Ah.
Pyandra need a Fusilier or a Helot to anchor it.
Oh, Ivory.
Boom, boom, ba, boom.
Oh well. It's still very funny, which you can do. You can move some points around it. It'll be fine.
You just
But
have
yeah,
to
this
turn
is
that
just
third Helot into a not camo
Yeah.
one.
yeah into a not camo one. Yeah, this list is super cool. Like it is the most different. It's like the most different sort of Varuna list that I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's funny how you can change like two profiles and all of a sudden entire like playstyles of lists change.
100%.
Like that on foot Knight of Montesa is just gonna be in everything right now. And yeah, like I could actually see that Zulu Cobra LT being the standard.
Potentially, yeah. If the cutter sort of really drops in popularity or the orc doesn't catch on,
Yeah,
100%. It seems like a good very unless you really need the points and you're playing like your two Fusiliers.
yeah,
That's pretty much it. Is like, are you playing two Fusiliers? Are you playing a Zulu Cobra? Are you playing a cutter? Is
yeah,
what it feels like.
yeah.
I definitely feel like so this list is can fall prey to what I was sort of talking about before, where it's like three bad face-to-face rolls, and I'm now down 4.5 Swick.
The counterpoint of
But
that is your opponent will have three bad face-to-face rolls, and all of their stuff will be dead from Helots.
yeah,
I don't know.
100%.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think it has a lot of play to it. I do think I do think to avoid that, you are maybe potentially like taxed like the one orc, or you're taxed like a Squallows potentially. I like the grenade launcher Squallow Mark II just as a way to get a little bit of like asymmetric play onto the table. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I think Varun is really cool now. I think they are in a better spot in N5 than they were in N4. I think this is like a really sick use of duos as well. Like, this is a bunch of really cool duos that are going to do really well together.
Yep. They also got the Quinn profile with disco ballers in case you need
Yes.
those as well. And for some reason the Echo Bravo has a decoy now. So
Okay.
Hail Mary drop in front of someone's face and it's a 50-50.
Yeah. No, I think Verona are very, very cool. I think there's a lot going on here to like, and I think there's a lot to sort of build around. And I think this is just sort of one interpretation, and you can go a whole bunch of different ways with this faction.
Yep.
If you like Patsy, if you don't like Patsy, how do you prefer your Helots? What kind of ARO base do you like? I know that Ed was talking about two Fusiliers and a Kamau or a Helot being a really good ARO bunker that they're using right now. I just think that there's a lot going on in the faction. And there's definitely going to be like a lot of testing that people are going to have to do to sort of figure out what the go is going to end up being. But like, if you want to play like two Kamau snipers as your like ARO bunker, like you can do that. Like a BS13, MSV2, MIM 3 multi sniper is still scary.
It's still good, yeah.
Like, terrorize your local Ariadna player with that.
Do you reckon because of like Patsy and Helots and stuff that potentially Varuna might support a cutter better than vanilla?
Oh no, you can do the Patsy Helot link in vanilla.
That's true, but they don't have AVA 3 Helots.
Yeah, it is only AVA 2, I think. Oh, hold on. Let me double check quickly.
Pretty sure it's only AVA 2.
We could be both right. Oh no, yeah, AVA 2. Maybe. I think vanilla maybe supports it a little bit better potentially, just because you've got more cheap stuff to kind of like build around it.
They've also got that little naughty thing that NCA got as well, where you've got two wildcard Pathfinders.
Yes.
Which is super interesting. Like you can grab an Orc Fuelback or something and staple two Tackaware sensor bots to him. and then he's got 5 orders just to scream around the table doing whatever he wants.
That is such a, like, here's a gun, go do a crime of a link.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the orc and his 2 little friends.
Yeah.
And there isn't an FTO Pathfinder profile. It's all of them.
Yep.
Oh, or the Tackaway come out to be pure as well.
Yep. That's very cool.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. That was 3 factions. Holy shit. There's 3 more.
And that'll be next week, I think, or week after?
Something like that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Save me.
We'll see where it fits in, because we've still got Next Wave that's being released. So
yes,
this
won't be released till
after
the next wave.
Yeah, you guys haven't seen it, but they're out. We have recorded a lot recently.
Yes. We might not be recording part 2 of this for a fortnight.
Yeah.
Because we might need a little break. Anyway, we hope you enjoyed. Sell me your NCA. I'm happy to say I've actually got quite a bit of NCA from begging people on the internet, which is quite fun.
What are you begging people? You begged Trent.
I've bought 0 things from Trent, and I will continue to buy 0 things from Trent.
That's impressive.
Trent is a man who he's like the dude who held silver for 50 years and went, I told you fuckers. I told you silver would be worth fucking shitloads, and then he will refuse to sell silver for anywhere reasonable. But I'm happy to say
you had really good timing to join for Verd, exactly. Like, you were right on that money.
Oh, yeah, Ed. Yeah. You were magical. Anyway, I digress. Thank you for listening tonight. I've been Tristan.
I've been Nick.
And I've been a burst 2.75 boarding shotgun named Jordan.
On foot. Good night, everyone.
Good night.